We're going to look at planning to win. Planning to win. How can you rise to become number one in this industry? Is it possible that a sales executive who just joined this organization can actually become number one in this industry? Yes. It's going to be based on a strategy called differentiation, please. Differentiation. Let's start with this. Product differentiation. Product differentiation. Now, when we talk about product differentiation, I'm trying to let you know that you must differentiate between your primary features and your secondary features. Your ability to be a sales executive and every time clearly delineate between what we call primary features and secondary features gives you a strong advantage. What are primary features? Primary features refers to what you have in common with other products. For example, imagine if you're trying to buy a phone, just as an example, just so I can bring it home. We have probably a Samsung phone and an iPhone. These two phones, you would make a decision not based on primary features, but you would only consider them if they have primary features. What are the primary features of a phone? You can make calls, send text messages, take photographs, record music or record audio. These are basic features of a mobile device. However, what you would use to determine if you use a Samsung or an iPhone will be based on what we call the secondary features. Secondary features is what differentiates your products from the competition. Secondary features when it comes to phones could be memory size, could be quality of camera, could be screen real estate, could be maybe the size of the phone, maybe terabytes, 1 terabyte, 500 MB, depending on what the phone has. So product differentiation says, I need to know what my primary features are, what I have in common. I need to know what my secondary features are, what differentiates me. Especially when it comes to handling competition. In your industry, many times people say things like, oh, the competition is offering, the competition is doing this. Now, product differentiation means every time I engage a prospect, I want to always talk about this is what we have in common with our competition. However, this is what separates me. So I start with saying, hey, this is what we have in common with our competition. This is what makes us equal. However, this is why you should do business with us. So you talk about what you have in common with your competition, you take a step forward. Not a step forward physically, right? But you take a step forward in the conversation by saying, this is what we have that differentiates us. You realize that every time you think product differentiation, you talk product differentiation, you will always stand out in your industry and you always have the leverage. The next point here is what we call audience differentiation. Audience differentiation says, hey, don't try to sell to everybody at the same time. From time to time, have a particular audience you focus on. It could be that, for example, you focus on, like I've said several times, maybe the pharmaceutical industry. Then after a month or two, you move to the oil and gas industry. After a month or two, you move to probably construction. So focus on a particular industry per time. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is what helps you identify what's most important to you at every point in time. For example, you can decide that I want to buy a brand new car, a red Toyota Camry. Everywhere you go, you notice that you start to see a red Toyota Camry. Why? Because of the reticular activating system. In the same way, when you choose your audience and you focus on an audience, for some reason, everywhere you go, you start to see that particular target audience. Let me give you a brief story. I remember many years ago, I was trying to sell to a particular industry, a particular client rather. He was in the shipping industry. I would go to his office with my boss then, and we would sit in his office for hours. In fact, I didn't even know who to meet. All I knew that it was this particular shipping company I wanted to penetrate. Every time I go there, we would wait. Nobody to attend to us. So we check back, come back another day, come back another day. We got so tired and we just felt, you know what, let's just leave this let's just leave this prospect. Let's go look for somebody else. Many months down the line, I was coming out of my house and I observed that my neighbor was coming out with a particular t-shirt. Guess what? The t-shirt he was wearing was the exact shipping company. The name of the shipping company was in that t-shirt, meaning that he works for that shipping company. I introduced myself to him. He gave me his card. He was an executive director in that shipping company. Now, he had been my neighbor all this while, but I didn't know. Why? My reticular activating system was not activated. I had not decided to focus on a particular industry, maybe the shipping industry. If I had done that, just the same way every time I decide to focus on trying to get a red Toyota Camry, for example, you start to see the red Toyota Camry everywhere because of the reticular activating system. In the same way, if I had put that principle to work, I would have started to see shipping companies all around, and there is no way I wouldn't have known that truly my neighbor was working in a shipping company. So apart from product differentiation, you also want to look at audience differentiation. Another aspect of differentiation is what we call personal differentiation. Differentiating yourself personally. Differentiating yourself. This is more like personal branding. Who are you? What do you represent in this organization? If we look at Tiger Woods, we will think about golf. If you think about Ronaldo, you think of football immediately. Or maybe Messi, you think of football. When you think of Michael Jordan, you think of basketball immediately. When we mention your name, what do we think about? Do we just see another sales executive? Or we see somebody who comes in early? We see somebody who goes the extra mile. We see somebody who is enthusiastic. We see someone who moves fast in the office. We see someone who doesn't see limitations, who doesn't see obstacles. What is your personal differentiation? Could it be in even how you dress? Every other person just wears a white shirt, a tie, and a pant, but you get a jacket. Not just a jacket, you wear a 3-piece. You wear your pocket hanky. You're always clean, well taken care of. Your shoes always shining. Won't that give you a significant personal differentiation? Yes, it will. And research has shown that people who are dressed better, who present themselves better, get promoted faster, make progress in their careers faster, rise to the top of their industry even faster than others who don't dress properly. So go the extra mile to look good. Go the extra mile to differentiate yourself. Don't complain. Don't nag. Don't join your colleagues to talk about how bad things are. Always see the positive side of life. Another aspect of differentiation which is very important is what we call digital differentiation. Digital differentiation. Now when we talk about digital differentiation, we're saying, who are you in the digital world? Are you an insurance salesman in the physical world? But in the digital world, you're a footballer, you're a dancer, you're a foodie. Who are you? Can you bring some alignment and some balance? Can it be that even if you're a foodie or a footballer, can we also see that online presence of your physical life? Can we see that, yes, you're a sales executive in an insurance company offline, but you're also a sales executive online as well? This also has to do with the kind of comments you give on the internet. Can you also make sure that when you tag, when you comment, you're not among those who insult, who go after people personally on the internet? Check your digital differentiation, because everything you do on the internet today is either going to haunt you in future or will give you opportunities in future. Finally, performance differentiation. Performance differentiation. Go the extra mile to make sure that the results you produce are far different from what your colleagues are producing. If your colleagues are bringing in 5 sales a month, go the extra mile to do double, do 10. When you do these things, product differentiation, audience differentiation, personal differentiation, digital differentiation, and performance differentiation, you immediately set yourself on course, on a free road to rising to the top of your industry.